So this is bolster making for this Polar Whittler. Stainless steel is 80, quite pointy tip. I made the hole and filed it, so it's pretty much right size already, but now I'm gonna undercut it so that it's easier to hammer it and make it fit. Now it has been sort of undercut, so I've removed material from there. This is the front side, so now I can hammer this to the blade. It's easier now. You need to make sure the thing is narrowing down this way, but also in this way. Also, it's pretty much impossible to get this fit. Now I sort of put it here, and now it's starting to bind. Now I get my tool, which is sort of this kind of metal thing. I'm gonna hammer this here. It went that far, but there's still a gap. And now I'm removing it and checking it. And when you hammer this, get this kind of outward things, I'm gonna file them down. Like there you see. This part became up. Now I filed it down. I can polish it all together now. Like that. Now try the blade. It would be good to know which way I was hammering it last time, but let's say this is the upside. It could be still a little bit narrow. I could file it, but other than that the fit looks good. Now it's hammered all the way. You can see the undercut there. If you have to do this hammering too much, this will get hard and you need to make it like red hot and dip it to water. It makes it softer again. But if you don't have to hammer it much, usually you feel when it stops. So then you have to take it out. Again, new marks, and I'm gonna file it again. I use always these aluminum which are softer than the blade. As you see, as I was hammering, even the tape is starting to tear apart, but it doesn't make marks when this is harder than this aluminum. But if I would put it to here, to steel, that would scratch the blade. Now it's been filed. Now I could try it, but I'm gonna use something to hammer it there. I could need a little bit more. I think the undercut is too small, so I'm getting so thick it doesn't want to go. I'm gonna increase the undercut a little bit. There's the increased undercutting. Focus. It's pretty much perfect. Damn good. If it gets any loose there, you could actually hammer it to here on top. But as this is still so wide, it's very hard to hammer it precisely, so it's best to narrow it to more like the actual size of the bolster. I like to use this kind of thing so I can hold it in hand and put it to the bench, and it's easier to use it like this. But I'm pretty happy. Now it's best to remove this and to polish the front bolster and make the shape, because polishing it afterwards is impossible. Now I'm gonna narrow it down with hacksaw. And now just remove it. Still a little odd shape, but I used a belt sander to sort of get some shape to it. But the back end is going to be flat with the blade. That's a little more in shape now. I'm trying to get this level, but I don't have to do it right now. Even this direction looks good. Some people just leave square, but when you have epoxied it and you start to grind it, this generates a lot of heat. So in that point, it could melt the epoxy or the glue. So I try to finish it a little bit more, as this brass makes a lot of heat when grind. But I'm pretty pleased about it. In this point, if you notice that it's loose, too loose, you can hammer it here. But it doesn't matter that it's sort of, if it just looks good, the glue is going to fill the gap and that undercut. That's it. Now I need to make the handle. Because after gluing this, finishing this is impossible. I'm now using just grind it here, always in the same direction. You get this kind of nice polish marks. Then I just move to finer, this is 400, then do it like this, and then steel wool or some polishing agent like metal polish, and just a rag. But let's see. That's more like it, but this is like the funny thing that you have to, how much you use time, it all depends, the final outcome. You cannot finish this later. There's some wrapping compound. It's starting to polish up. Okay, maybe I could live with this one. Maybe. It's okay. Then I just take this block of birch and sort of eyeball it. How does it look? And how much is needed? But I could cut this. This is not so long. I think it's total overkill to make such a long. I could make it like that. My hand is like this. So small knife, maybe this length. Or somewhere in the middle. Maybe cut like 5 millimeters of this block. Probably. As the bolsters are making little length too. Maybe something like this Brisa handle.